right, now it's running and it's live. All right, everybody.
Hello. We're going to give y'all a few minutes to get online and we'll get started for our first live video.
I've actually got a little countdown prepared for us.
Oh,
Check
boy.
this out. How cool is that? Anyway, we've got a great show for you guys today, and we're going to get our stuff together here.
Hope everyone is recovering from Halloween and trick-or-treating and everything else last night.
Well, it's not quite as zoomed in on that.
It's fine. All right.
All right, so how many people do we have on right now? Anybody?
No, we don't have anyone in yet.
Okay.
We can start it anyways.
All right, well, we're going to have a great show for you guys today. We're going to be talking about the 6 most common buyer mistakes when shopping for a home. And then after that, we're going to take your questions. And we're going to start in 3, 2, 1. All right, and welcome.
Welcome!
Welcome, everybody. I'm Fernando with RE/MAX.
And I'm Julie with RE/MAX. We're with the Saltwater Ventures team.
Yeah, and we're doing this live, so it's kind of like the Super Bowl. So hopefully we don't have any wardrobe malfunctions. But we might have some case of the giggles from time to time, so just bear with us.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about the first. Let's just dive right in. But before we do, I just want to ask you guys, you know, we're on all these platforms right here. We're on Zillow, on Realtor, on our Facebook page, which you're obviously on now, and on Yelp. And if you know us, if you've worked with us before, if you know anything about us, please give us a review. Please give us a review because it really helps, you know, tell other people about us and our service. So that's my plug for that. So let's move right into the first mistake.
Okay, well, I guess let's kind of recap a little bit.
All right.
We're going to talk today about the 6 buyer mistakes when shopping for a home. And these aren't the only mistakes. I'm sure there's a ton more, but we just took the 6 that we hear the most and get questions about the most.
Okay.
Sound
there you
good?
go. All right.
All right, so
So here's the rules of the game. So I'll ask a question and then she's going to answer and then we'll reverse. So
okay.
I'll go first.
No, I'm going first.
Oh, you're going first? Okay.
Sorry,
she wants
I'm
to
going
go first.
first.
Yeah, well,
All right.
All right.
So,
Shoot.
number one buyer mistake is not finding an agent to work with or speak with before even starting the process. Fernando, why is that a mistake?
Well, and I love to tell stories, but she hates it when I tell stories. So I'm going to do it anyways. You know that. So when I first bought my first home, it was 20 years ago, whatever. The first thing I did was pick up the phone and call a real estate agent. I think with the advent of the internet and all the information we have available to us, it seems that there's been a shift in the mindset, and now people just start looking for homes without engaging their real estate agent first. And here's why I think that's not necessarily the best strategy. Engaging your real estate agent is important because we can help clarify the process, how it works. Mm-hmm. We can help you set realistic expectations. So if you tell us what you want or how you want it and how you want to do it, we can give you some feedback right away. We can also tell you about general strategies that you could use that maybe you haven't even thought of yet. So we can save you hours and hours and hours of research and wasted time when you just bounce the questions off a professional that sells homes, you know, every single day. That's what we're in the trenches. We're doing this every single day. Yes. And to give you an anecdote, it's not a story. I saw somebody post something on Facebook asking a real estate question. And people were answering, and I chimed in and said, well, here's your short answer, and if you have any questions, text me, call me, email me. It's free. There's no obligation. We don't charge for that. Right. And then this guy came in and said that I was wrong, he said, and he put in his answer, what he thought was the right answer. And I was curious, and I clicked on him, and I'm like, who is this guy? And it's like a 20-year-old guy who is a renter, because it obviously says on his page that he's renting a condo or whatever. So don't ask Facebook for advice. Ask a professional. Like I said, it's free. It's the best way to get the right information and save you time.
Cool.
All right?
All right, so that was number 1.
Number 1.
All right.
So now I'm going to ask for number 2. So here comes number 2. Number 2 is mistake people make when buying a home. Clicking buttons on websites such as Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com. What do I mean by buttons? I know we know what we mean, but maybe you don't know what we mean. So when you are on a search website and you see a home and down there it says, I want more information. They click the button that says, I want more information. So when we say click the button, that's what we mean.
Yes.
Why is that a mistake if you're a buyer?
So a few reasons for that. First, majority of these websites are actually selling your information to local lenders and local agents. Basically, they're paying for advertising on there. So what happens is you're in several different parts of the city and you're clicking these buttons so that you can get more information on a home. But however, instead of, I guess it can be a good thing. It can be. However, then you end up having 30 real estate agents calling you, texting you, emailing you, and it's just relentless. They're paying for these leads, and so they're going to be on top of it. They're going to be in touch with you, and it gets confusing as the buyer. And then you have, all these people just reaching out to you, and you're a little overwhelmed.
Yeah, absolutely. And to that, I'm going to add that, in some markets, people, real estate agents pay between $50 and up to $250 for every quote-unquote lead.
Yeah.
So they're paying up to $250 to get your name, your phone number, and your email address. Do you think they're going to follow up very aggressively? Sure they are.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting at home with a vodka and cranberry in your hand and you're looking at homes and you're saying, oh, I want more information on this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, all over the zip codes.
Right.
Before you know it, you'll have 45 real estate agents that they've each paid between $50 and $200 to get your phone number and your email address. And I think you can kind of see where I'm going with that, right?
Yeah. So let me kind of just tell you the plus to this. You go to our website, which is stpetecommunity.com. I think Fernando might have. There it is.
You can see that, sorry.
stpetecommunity.com. It's our website. We keep your information private. When you're requesting information on a property, it's just coming to Fernando and myself and maybe our assistant. And then we can reach out and make it very personal, find out exactly what you're looking for, find out your situation, and really personalize it towards you, even help you with the search so that you don't have, let's just say maybe even 50 to 100 agents by the time you've looked around Pinellas, Hillsborough, and Manatee or in Sarasota County. So
my suggestion would be if you have a friend who knows an agent, or you know us, or you're on our Facebook page, or maybe you went to an open house. Maybe I was in Dunedin and I was having a nice lunch and I thought, you know what, I'd love to move to Dunedin. So I go to an open house and I meet an agent there. Take those cards from those 3 or 4 agents, or from your friend that's referring somebody, or from us.
Yeah.
And give each one a call and ask questions. Ask questions like, are you a full-time agent? If you're not around, is there someone else I can call? Do you work as a team? How many homes have you helped buyers buy? Or do you mostly work listings? Ask these kinds of questions. It's okay. And then once you've made the decision to hire a real estate agent, then call all the other ones and say, hey, I'm working with this person, and that's who I'm working with. Because you don't want to be wasting people's time, and you don't want all these calls coming into you. So,
yes.
So that's
most definitely.
All right. So
number three mistake.
All right.
Is buyers not talking to a mortgage person before they start their home search. Big one, number 3. And these were not done in any particular order, but I think Fernando's answering this one. If you're tired of him talking, just say so.
Why is it a bad idea not to talk to you? Okay. It's very important to talk to your mortgage person. I had a gentleman who shall remain nameless, and many people have told me too. They said, look, I'm going to find the home first, and then I'm going to talk to the mortgage person. It's not like buying a car, guys. You're buying a home. This is very important. And it's very important that you know what your budget is, because how can we determine what your budget is if we don't know what your payment's going to be, we don't know what your interest is going to be, we don't know what your finance situation is, we don't know what your debt to income ratio, you haven't addressed any of those questions. And so what happens is this gentleman just picked a random number, like $250,000 is what he wanted to spend on the home.
Right.
So we went looking at homes $250,000, and at the time we didn't know that was too much. He wasn't going to qualify for that much. But we found a home. We found a home that he really liked. It had been on the market one day. It just came on the market that morning. He called me. He said, "Hey, Fernando, I want to see this home. I know we've seen 7 or 8 already. I think this is the one." We went over there. We saw the house. He said, "I love it. I want to make an offer. I want to buy this house, write it up." I wrote it up at the kitchen table in the house. We went to a coffee shop. I called the listing agent. I said, "We want to buy this house. We've got an offer here, full price." And he said, "Too bad. You've got to have a loan pre-approval letter or some kind of document. If you're paying cash, you have to have proof of funds." So we hurried to get that, and it took us 3 days. And by the time the 3rd day was over and we had that letter in our hand, the house was gone. It was gone.
Yes.
Yeah, somebody else had come in who was ready to go, and it was just gone. So don't be like that. Don't also go searching for a home, and then later on the mortgage guy's like, "No, this is where you need to be," and now you've seen all these expensive homes, and now you're heartbroken and disappointed.
Yes. So I want Fernando to read Jenny's comment because it's really cute, and I agree.
I think Brandon Harrell's a great mortgage person.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you for the comment. I appreciate that. Okay. Yeah, I'm sort of playing engineer and spokesperson. I know it's very distracting. Sorry about that, but that's just, my engineer's only 10 years old, so he's still in training. Right, young man?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Nice.
All right, so now
right.
let's talk about the 4th biggest mistake buyers make when buying a home. And this question's going to be answered by Julie. And the mistake is not giving the real estate agent all of the feedback on the searches they're receiving or the homes that they're looking at.
Yes.
Why is that a mistake?
Well, so before I answer that, I'm going to go back to number 3 real quick about not talking to a mortgage person.
Okay.
So that was kind of like a mistake on our part as well for not having that person really pre-approved up front. So it's important as a realtor for us to take on that as well.
Oh.
Ah.
So it's my fault.
Okay,
Is that what you're trying to say?
your fault.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
so anyways.
we're in the customer service business. So
Yes.
people say, this is how I want to do it, Fernando. Then sometimes, and he was my friend. Anyways,
all right. So let's go to number 4 again. So buyers not giving the agent the feedback. I have been in several homes with my buyers. We have an agreement together. We've been working together, and they walk in and they're just silent. There's no words coming out of their mouth, and I'm trying to get information out of them, and that's the only way that we can do our job. So if you're not being honest with me, or if you love the house and you just think like, oh, I can't tell her because then she thinks I'm gonna want it, and I don't want to pay that much money for it, that it's just silly. You have to give us honest feedback. It's not our house. We definitely didn't decorate it. I'll use one of Fernando's fun terms. So just be honest. I mean, that's the only way. And that way, when we're not together and I walk into a house, maybe I'm with another buyer, if I have all your feedback, then I know that I can go ahead and show you this house because it meets everything that we've talked about since we've been looking at homes together.
Right, I absolutely agree. And to that, I will add, I had a customer.
He always adds, sorry.
I had a customer who said, I have to have a house, no pool, no flood insurance, within 5 miles of this area in St. Pete, no ifs, no ands, no buts, that's it. And I said, okay, you got it. And next thing you know, a few weeks later, she's mad at me because I'm not doing my job, she says, because I'm not sending her properties that she's interested in. And I said, well, which properties are those? She sends me the properties. This property's in Tampa. It's got a pool. It's in a flood zone. So please, if your mind changes midway through the process, let your realtor know. We're here to help. We're here. We could adjust the criteria. Don't worry about that. We could actually make multiple searches. You can do multiple searches on our website, stpcommunity.com.
Yeah.
And you can have several searches. This is a search for condos. This is a search for single family, whatever you want. So let us know. All right.
Yeah. All right.
What's next?
So we're number 5. Number 5, you guys.
Number 5.
All right. So, yes, I'm asking the question. Okay. So looking at houses way outside of your pre-approval amount given from your lender, or just over the amount of cash if you're a cash buyer, way over the amount of cash that you have.
And why is that
a bad idea, Fernando?
It's a bad idea because if your pre-approval is to like $250,000 and you're sending me properties that are 275, 265, 275, somewhere around there, we're already setting ourselves up for failure. A lot of sellers are getting 90% of their asking price. If the price of the home is priced properly, they're getting about 90% of their asking price. So if you're sending me a house at 275 and your pre-approval is 250 and that's your ceiling, it's going to be really tough for us to get that house.
Yes.
Because to get the seller to drop their price 25 grand and then give some concessions and then fix some items in the inspection report, that's going to be really, really difficult. And then you're just putting yourself through torture viewing these homes that are up here in this price range, and really you should be looking at homes just slightly below. So you're going to be thinking, oh, this kitchen sucks, or this isn't big enough, or the tile, or the this, or the windows. Try to stay as close as you can to your pre-approval amount, and then we can negotiate from there. We want to have some room. We don't want to be at the top of our negotiation line. So that's why that's a bad idea.
Right. I'm trying to think if I have anything to add to that. Well, and I just think it causes disappointment in you as the buyer. So even sometimes just $15,000 can make a difference in what the house looks like. So, then you're just comparing everything else to that house, and it's not something that you can purchase.
Right.
So,
right.
okay.
Right. All right, and the sixth one, and then
Number six
is here's one that we ran into last year that was a big problem. Why is it not a good idea, or why is it a mistake for the buyer to refuse or to fail to review their purchase contract ahead of time before looking at a home?
Yes. So this is definitely a problem, and working with an agent, I know we do this with all of our buyers in our consultation. We actually go through the contract with them ahead of time, and I think it's part of our job to be doing that as a professional realtor in the area. What happens is if your buyer is not familiar with this contract, you're going to have a ton of questions. I think there's 5 pages of just definitions in the back of our contracts that we use. So when you're not reviewing that contract, it's actually going to delay you getting your offer submit and then approved, or if it's a great house, you might be in a multiple offer situation, and poor buyer has all these questions and they don't know what to do, and you're going back and forth. And for us, we do this every day, so it's normal and commonplace. But it's very important to know what your time frames are. It's important to know what escrow is. It's important to know even all the silly definitions in the back of the contract.
Right, and last year we had a situation where we were working with a gentleman. He didn't want to sit down for the buyer class. We have a buyer class. Did you guys know that?
Yeah, we do have
a
buyer
buyer
class.
Consultation class.
Yeah.
It's taught by one of us or another instructor, and we basically run through everything you need to know so that when you find the home, you're ready to go. So this guy refused to do that. He said, I don't need that. I know everything there is to know about real estate. And I'm going to tell you guys how to do your job. Great, fantastic, amazing. Okay, so we found the house of his dreams.
Yes.
He wanted to buy it, had me write the contract. I wrote the standard contract, sent it over, and I said, well, are you signing it, not signing it? What's going on? There were hours went by.
Yeah.
And I said, well, what's going on? And he says, oh, I didn't tell you. My girlfriend is an attorney, and she's going to review the contract. And I thought, face palm. Because it's not going to be quick, right? 4 days later, we still haven't had no signature on that contract because she was trying to cross things out, and you can't cross things out. She was trying to change the language. She was trying to add some sort of a weird addendum that was not standard. Mm-hmm. Anyway, long story short, we lost the house.
Yes.
So, and at the end of the day, we put an offer on a different house without all that stuff. If he had just taken the time to review the contract, I mean, things would have just gone so much smoother. I don't have a facepalm video, but anyway.
Okay.
So I just saw that Lorraine had a question.
Cool.
And Lorraine says, is there still money out there for down payment assistance? Do you want to take that one?
No, go ahead and take it. You
This is how she throws me under the bus.
Go ahead and talk.
Well, that's a great question, Lorraine. That's a great question for the lender as well.
If Brandon's on here, we'll send you Brandon's way.
Yeah,
Just kidding. But Fernando will answer the question.
I will do my best to be a pretend mortgage lender and answer the question. So there is money out there. There's still some bond programs, down payment assistance programs, first-time home buyers. there is a program in Hillsborough County where they give you $5,000 gift. You can't combine it with anyone else, but it's a $5,000 gift to buy a home.
And even some lenders are coming up with their own programs to help with down payment.
Yes, so that's something.
So like I said, definitely we
I
can
was
send.
answering your question.
Sorry, we could send you the lender's way.
We also have a rebate for a limited time. Julie and I, if you work with us, we'll give you money back at closing. I don't know if you guys were aware of that, but we do offer a rebate under certain conditions. And if you want to find out more about that, come up here to our blog. You see this right here?
Yeah.
This is our blog right there.
Thanks, Brandon. I saw your comment.
Okay, and then scroll down to the lady where there's cash coming down. Do you see that? Where it says search our site, get 1,500 cash. Click on that, and there's all the conditions for you getting. This is what you have to do if you want to get a rebate directly from us. So if you reach out to us, read the blog, and then your questions will be answered.
Yep.
All right. Is there any other? All right. And Brandon says he got his client $8,300 in a grant. That's amazing.
Wow, that's awesome.
Okay. What other questions do we have? We don't have any other questions?
I don't know. We went through, for us, our our 6 buyer mistakes. Does anyone have any questions before we sign off?
Okay. Well, I do want to say before we sign off here, I mean, we do have some time. We're doing good on time. I do want to say, sorry. I do want to say, if you know anyone looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, just send them our way. Even if they're not in the state of Florida, we're part of RE/MAX International, so we do business anywhere in the United States and in select international locations with our partner agents all over the country. So if you know someone, just reach out to us and let us do the hard work of finding that agent that is very well reviewed, well qualified, and that can take care of your needs in that area that's specific to them. So, so do that. So we got another question that says, can or should you use more than one real estate agent to help you find a home?
Oh boy.
And that's going to be, well, the short answer is no, but Julie's going to explain why. Julie's going to explain why.
So the short answer.
Repeat the question.
I can't read it, but can or should you use more than one real estate agent to purchase your home? So the short answer is no, and longer explanation is that no, you don't want to use more than one agent. And I don't know where I was going with that. No, you don't want to use more than one. There could be issues with them, us agents are paid commission, and whoever brought the buyer, you could get conflicting information. What other pitfalls do you see, Fernando?
Well, okay, so
sorry.
Let me add to that a little bit.
No, that's what I'm saying. Add to it.
I do hear this a lot. I hear people that say, you know what, I'm going to have three or four agents looking for stuff for me. We all have access to pretty much the same information. The difference is the velocity at which we get you that information and how we get along and the level of competency of your agent. So as I was saying on the number one problem, finding your agent, you want to first interview those agents and pick one that you think you're going to get along with well. Your personality types are going to mesh well. He's going to be dedicated to you and giving you the information that you need in a timely manner. And he performs well for you. He does a good job for you. If he doesn't or she doesn't, you can fire them and get another agent. But just let them know. Don't just randomly walk into a house and open house, and I'll just buy the house from the open house. So
you want someone on your side, basically. You want someone advocating for you,
right?
And not more than one, because if I know you're working with someone else, you're not going to get my full attention either. So
and we're not paid to show homes. Last year we had a gentleman that called me Sunday, 7 p.m. And I didn't know who the hell he was. He just came out of nowhere, out of Zillow, and he's like, you shall show me this home. And I said, well, have you been pre-approved? He said, that's none of your business, and you will show me this home. I said, sir, we don't get paid to show homes. We have clients, we have customers, we work with people that we like to work with, and we don't just get paid to go show you a home.
Right.
That's not the way it works. So please be courteous, please be kind, please be considerate,
Yes.
and treat us the way you would treat any other professional.
Yes.
And we would appreciate that.
Awesome.
What else? Maybe you covered this, but is it wise to have the listing agent as my buying agent?
Ah.
That's a great question.
Yes. Well, that is a great question. Yes.
You want me to take that one?
Go. You like to talk. Go for it.
Yeah, I think
I'll pipe in.
The engineer. Okay.
Yes.
We've had this happen before. I actually spoke to a woman that said that the 3 or 4 times she's bought homes throughout her life, every single time she's bought the home from the listing agent.
Yes.
So she's found the home herself. She's walked up to the home. She's looked at the sign. She called the listing agent and said, I want to look at this house. And if she decided to buy it, she would buy it from the listing agent.
And actually, that's how we got her as a client.
Why do you think that's a bad idea? Anyone? Okay. Let me explain something to you. The listing agent, and I deal mostly with the listings, the listing agent is advocating for the seller. The listing agent wants the seller to get the most money possible and the best possible deal.
Yes.
And that is the focus of their attention. If you're going in there and you're calling the listing agent as a buyer, me as the listing agent, I'm smiling ear to ear because first of all, you don't have any representation, right? And second of all, now I'm double-siding the deal, and double-siding means that the seller has put aside a certain amount of money to pay your real estate agent as the buyer, and that money will now no longer be used. That money will now go in my pocket. So this is why I'm smiling ear to ear, right? Because we're not going to give it to you as a discount, right? Because you're not represented. No one's advocating on your behalf.
Yes.
So please don't do that. Don't ever buy a house from the listing agent. Always get yourself the proper representation, and find that person early. The earlier, the better. I'm telling you.
Yes.
You're just doing yourself a favor.
Right.
You really are.
Awesome.
So great questions, guys. That was amazing.
there's only one person.
But
Very cool.
very cool.
All right.
Now, if you've missed any portion of this, it will be posted on our blog.
Yes.
It'll be posted here. So if you go to our website, click blog, and then click on 6 Common Mistakes, that's where the transcript and the video will be posted by Friday afternoon at the latest. So,
Yep.
but thank you very much
Thank you
for
for participating in our first
This is
our
our
first
first live broadcast.
live broadcast. We'll have another one next week
Yeah, well, stay tuned because next week is going to be a really cool one. It's going to be
about sellers.
about sellers and about what sellers need to know. So if you know anyone who's looking to sell a home, maybe wants to get some information, maybe it's early on in the process, invite them for that seminar next week and we'll talk about that. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Right, you can turn it off
Here.
now. Up
You
there.
want? Okay.
You know how to do it?
You wanted to.